Democrats on the Senate Intel Committee under fire for releasing controversial, previously classified CIA information. My next guest believes the release of the interrogation report is, quote, an act of integrity and that Senator Dianne Feinstein is an American hero. So, was it absolutely the right thing to do? Liberal radio show host Coco Sudek joins me now. Good evening, Coco.
Hi, Judge. How are you? Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Coco, you're a lawyer. You believe in the Constitution, the right of cross-examination. How could you possibly think a document created without even questioning the accused or any of the witnesses makes any sense at all?
Judge, Senator Feinstein is an American hero. And releasing this report is the best thing we can possibly do because, look, there's obviously controversy about what was done with all of these detainees. And the best thing to do in a democracy, in a representative republic, which is what we've got, is to put this information out there and let the people look at it and decide whether it was appropriate or not. And I don't think it was appropriate. What was done in my name is abysmal.
All right, so you don't think it's appropriate the people should decide. Don't you think that the fact that the Justice Department has already investigated this, Barack Obama comes in, he's going to straighten everything out. They said there was no crime committed, and now years later, they've got 1 week left in the Senate. The Dems come out and do this while Americans are in custody about to get their heads beheaded? What is that about?
Well, I don't think that they're saying that there was no crime committed and there was no
they didn't prosecute Coco.
No, but that doesn't mean, you're right, but that doesn't mean that there was no crime committed. That means that they didn't have the political will to pursue it at the Justice Department level, but they did, an investigation needed to be conducted, and the Intelligence Committee was the right place to do it, and just because there's no prosecution doesn't mean there was no crime. But what's important is that we are getting this information out there. And if you're so outraged that the report has been released, then you must be outraged at what that report has disclosed.
I'm not outraged at all. I'm outraged thinking about which of my friends, whether they jumped, whether they were burnt to death, or whether a plane landed on their bodies. That's what I'm outraged about. What I'm outraged about are Americans saying, and I think even you say it, a big stick and a gun and a dungeon is not the way to resolve problems. Do you believe that, Coco?
I do believe that. Now, look, I do not believe that 9/11 should have been met with nothing, okay? I was a fan of the Afghanistan war, I was a supporter of it, and I think that what America needed to do was come back with a vengeance. But pulling people off the streets and putting them in a dungeon and raping them with hummus was not the way to do this. First of all, 26 of those people.
Did they walk out alive? Yes.
Right.
Did our people? No.
But look,
what is the damage? What is the harm?
26, well, first of all, because 26 people didn't even do anything by the CIA's own record. So we tortured 26 people out of 119, and they were totally innocent.
But it wasn't torture. We just had the Attorney General. And by the way, Jim Comey, who was there at the time, is now the head of the CIA. He approved it. He and Ashcroft and the rest of them. I just had the man here.
Okay, when Ashcroft approved this, he was in the hospital on sedatives, okay? I don't know that that was really...
I know the story. So what he did was he said, let Comey decide. He's now the AG, and Obama now has Comey, the head of the FBI. That tells me that if there were anything wrong, he wouldn't be that. Let me ask you one more question. So if you think that... let me ask you, we didn't know who they were. We didn't know who hit them. I saw the plane go into the building, and people said it was a small plane. How are we supposed to get information?
We're supposed to get information by the way that we have always conducted intelligence work, by investigating, by putting assets, by making friends and assets in the field. But look, when I was in school, we learned about what the Nazis did in the Holocaust, and they tortured people. And we were taught that to take people and string them out on a rack and beat them until they talked that's what the bad guys did. Okay, and we're the good guys.
But what you're saying,
and we're supposed to be better than this.
We are better than all that. But you know what? I don't want to be better than them if they're going to kill me. But you know, you want to talk about the Nazis? Do you really think that if we left Hitler alone and tried to reason with him, 6 million Jews would not have died? If we didn't kill them, they would have continued to kill us. Anyway, Coco, loved having you on. I'm going to have you back.
Thank you, Judge. It's been a pleasure.
We got to go. Thank you. All right, coming up.